Mercedes fans, this is the moment nobody expected. Just days before the Miami Grand Prix, the FIA has introduced regulation modifications that could completely change the competitive order. And many inside the paddock believe Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team may be the team suffering the most. While some are calling it a normal technical clarification, others are calling it something much bigger, a direct competitive blow to Mercedes. And if that is true, the championship fight may have just taken a dramatic turn. The biggest controversy surrounds the FIA's latest intervention regarding front-wing flexibility, ride height sensitivity, and tighter monitoring of aerodynamic load distribution. These areas may sound technical, but in Formula One, tiny adjustments create massive performance differences. Mercedes had reportedly been making strong progress with their current development direction, especially after recent simulator gains and improved correlation between factory data and track performance. Now, with Miami approaching, everything may be under pressure again. Sources inside the paddock suggest that the FIA's latest clarifications specifically targets grey areas that several teams have been exploiting, particularly around aeroelasticity and how load transfers under braking and high-speed cornering. While no team has been officially named, many analysts believe Mercedes could be one of the biggest losers because their recent upgrades were heavily focused on maximizing front-end stability and low-speed traction through these exact design philosophies. This creates a serious problem for George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, who were hoping Miami would be a breakthrough weekend. Mercedes had shown flashes of recovery, and there was growing belief that the team was finally beginning to understand the narrow operating window of their car. But if those solutions are now restricted by new FIA interpretations, the team may once again be forced into emergency adaptation mode. And this is where things become political, because Formula One fans know one thing very well: timing is everything. Why now? Why just before Miami? Why after teams have already committed development resources and major upgrade packages? That question is creating serious tension in the paddock. Some insiders believe rival teams pushed for stricter enforcement after noticing Mercedes closing the gap. Others think the FIA simply wants total consistency before the European leg of the season begins. But regardless of the reason, the impact is immediate. Team principal Toto Wolff has not publicly attacked the decision, but Mercedes insiders are reportedly frustrated. Development budgets are limited, wind tunnel time is restricted, and when regulations shift mid-development cycle, recovery becomes extremely expensive. In Formula One, losing 0.2 is not a small problem. It can mean dropping from the second row to the edge of Q3. Meanwhile, rivals like Oracle Red Bull Racing and Scuderia Ferrari may benefit from the situation. Both teams have shown stronger stability under regulation shifts in recent years, and their design concepts appear less vulnerable to these specific clarifications. If Mercedes is forced to compromise setup balance, Red Bull and Ferrari could gain an even bigger advantage in qualifying pace and race consistency. For Max Verstappen, this could be another perfect opportunity. Every time the field gets unstable, Red Bull seems to remain calm. Their platform is mature, their aero philosophy is proven, and Verstappen thrives when rivals are struggling with confidence. Miami's long straights, technical braking zones, and heat management demands already favor complete cars, and right now, Red Bull still looks like the benchmark. Ferrari also enters Miami with growing confidence. After strong simulator work and improved race pace across recent weekends, they believe this could be a major scoring opportunity. And with Lewis Hamilton continuing to attract massive attention in red, every performance shift becomes even more amplified. If Mercedes loses ground while Ferrari gains momentum, the psychological battle becomes just as important as the points. But perhaps the most interesting part is how this affects the midfield, because regulation clarifications rarely hurt only one team. McLaren Formula One team, Aston Martin Aramco Formula One team, and even Visa Cash App Racing Bulls F1 team could feel indirect consequences depending on setup philosophy and floor sensitivity. Miami could become less about pure speed and more about who adapts fastest under pressure, and adaptation is everything in modern Formula One. The FIA does not need to ban a part to change the championship. Sometimes a single clarification, a single test procedure, or a slightly stricter interpretation is enough to rewrite the order. Teams spend millions optimizing for legal gray zones. When those gray zones disappear, so does the performance. That is why Mercedes fans are so concerned right now, because this is not just about one race. This is about development direction for the next several months. If the team must redesign key concepts to stay competitive, that affects Imola, Monaco, Barcelona, and possibly the entire first half of the season. Momentum matters, confidence matters, and losing both before summer can destroy championship hopes before they even begin. The Miami Grand Prix is now more than just another race weekend. It has become a pressure test. Can Mercedes respond fast enough? Can Russell's extract performance from a compromised package? Can Antonelli handle the pressure of a major technical reset, or will Red Bull and Ferrari simply drive away while Mercedes searches for answers again? Fans are already divided. Some say this is normal FIA enforcement and Mercedes must simply adapt like everyone else. Others believe the team has been unfairly hit at the worst possible moment. And in Formula One, perception often becomes as powerful as reality. One thing is certain. Miami just became one of the most important weekends of the season, because if Mercedes arrives and struggles, the narrative will be brutal. Headlines will explode. Questions about strategy, development, and leadership will return instantly. But if they survive and somehow fight at the front, it could become one of the strongest statements of resilience we've seen this year. So the question now is simple. Did the FIA just protect fairness, or did they unintentionally hand Mercedes a major setback? Miami will give us the answer.